Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Wednesday, February 3rd, 2010. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London. In Hamilton, it's 12:30, and in Mexico City, it's 10:30 a.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX overseas. Our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. I have a number of printed out papers in front of me because some news is coming in fast and furious after we put the issue up on the teleprompter, so I'll be glancing down from time to time. We have two breaking stories. One is coming from Missouri in the central part of the United States. There's been a beef recall. The West Missouri Beef Company of Rockville, Missouri is recalling 14,000 pounds of fresh boneless beef because it may be contaminated with E. coli. No illnesses have yet been linked to the beef, but it was distributed in the Chicago area. The recalled beef was discovered by the U.S. government during a chance review at the plant. Also, we've been talking this week about the wonderful 2009 results announced by Chairman von Baumhard at Munich Re. Well, this is a little bit curious. Nomura Investments downgraded Munich Re this morning. They reduced them. They reduced them from neutral to sell. All right, and they cited a lack of earnings momentum. Munich Re doubled its profits. They said that Munich Re is inexpensive in its historical valuation terms. Nomura said that it does not view the stock as being cheap. They said that there are other better stocks in this sector. Go figure. If you're Mr. von Baumhard, you're no doubt somewhat frustrated with that. We'll now go to the main news of the day. ADP, Automatic Data Processing, the U.S. payroll company, came out with some of their numbers saying that private sector firms in the U.S. eliminated 22,000 jobs during the month of January. This is the 24th decline in a row. It is, however, the fewest jobs lost since January of 2008. In December, a revised 61,000 jobs were lost, so this is somewhat good news. However, economists who are looking at the U.S. government job statistics that are going to come out on Friday are in fact looking for payrolls to increase by 20,000. So this Friday will be a very big jobs number. We'll have to see what happens. And now to the story that has most of my papers in front of me concerning it. We'll deal with the first part. Toyota Prius now is in the mix as being a possible problem car for Toyota. The company's been hit by 100 complaints in the U.S. and Japan about brake problems with the Prius. The Prius, of course, is a popular hybrid. And Japan has now ordered the Toyota company to investigate the brake problems. The new Prius is not yet part of the recalls that are covering about 4.5 million vehicles, but apparently the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has received about 100 complaints involving the brakes of the Prius model. 2 involved crashes and injuries. Japan's Transport Ministry said this morning it has also received 14 complaints just since July about the brake problems in Toyota's new Prius hybrid. Those 14 complaints included an accident in July of last year in which a Prius crashed head-on with another car at an intersection. Fortunately, only 2 people were slightly injured. And now to the big news. About 28 minutes ago, in front of the White House, after a meeting about Toyota, U.S. Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood said, if you are a Toyota owner who has a car that has been recalled, park it in your garage, turn the keys off, and do not drive it unless you are driving it to the dealer to have it fixed. Mass hysteria has now broken out. This is an article from the front page of the Washington Post right now. Federal regulators have launched an inquiry into whether engine electronics caused Toyotas to accelerate unexpectedly, as experts cast doubt on Toyota's explanation of a simple accelerator pedal fix for its so-called runaway cars. Mr. LaHood, the Transportation Secretary, said, we're not finished with Toyota. The government has started a review. They're going to look at the electronic system across all manufacturers, as well as the possibility that engine operation of the Toyota could be disrupted by electromagnetic interference caused by power lines or other sources. That might also extend to cell phones. Who the heck knows? Toyota, meanwhile, sticks to the policy that all of the incidents of unintended acceleration are due to sticky gas pedals. And it's going out of their way to make sure that the dealers are ready to address this issue on a 24-hour-a-day basis. The government's decision to examine Toyota's electronics problems, alleged problems, come as Congress, now they're in on it, is preparing for the first of 2 hearings next week. Members of Congress have already suggested they are skeptical of Toyota's claims that it has solved the problem with this fix. Toyota executives met with staff members from the House of Representatives Energy and Commerce Committee last week, and when Toyota was asked whether they were certain that floor mats and sticking accelerated pedals fully explained the reports of unintended acceleration, quote, "The Toyota officials present responded that causes of unintended acceleration are very, very hard to identify." So, this is going to get worse before it gets better. The articles all over are casting doubt on Toyota's drive-by-wire concerns. In the old days, of course, the accelerator was connected to the engine by a cable. The newer model Toyotas, as well as some other cars, use computer software to send a message to the engine that the pedal has been depressed. You may recall fly-by-wire also comes up frequently when you're discussing Airbus versus Boeing. Airbus employs fly-by-wire for most of their new models. Boeing only uses fly-by-wire for certain aspects of the new model's functions and does have a typical hydraulic system in place for a backup or a redundancy. So this is going to be very interesting. Meanwhile, the effect of all of this on car sales is very interesting. In January in the United States, Toyota sales were down 16%. The world turned on its head. General Motors sales increased 14%. Ford went up 25%. Nissan went up 16%. Hyundai went up 24%. Chrysler, believe it or not, only went down 8%, which for them is a gigantic victory. So, strange things happening. We'll return now to a more normal world, reinsurance. Evan Greenberg at ACE announced some interesting news today. ACE posted an 88.3% property and casualty combined ratio for 2009. That is very impressive. Of course, it's assisted by last year's modest claims environment. Without the effects of losses from Ike, Gustav, and other big hurricanes, ACE's net income more than doubled from $1.2 billion in 2008 up to about $2.5 billion last year. Evan Greenberg said our P&C combined ratio for 2009 was 88.3%, a world-class result, no kidding. And in terms of capital efficiency, we achieved an operating return on equity for the year of more than 16%. He said, in spite of the year's challenging economic, financial, and insurance market conditions, we continued to invest in our company and benefit from sound underwriting. Good for him. News from 2 Pierce Place out in Itasca, Illinois. U.S. broker Arthur J. Gallagher saw its fourth quarter net earnings rise to $16.8 million from $4.7 million. However, it undershot analyst estimates as organic growth proved sluggish. Gallagher, which is on a buying spree, they closed 15 acquisitions in 2009, saw overall revenue rise to about $1.3 billion against $1.2 billion last year, and the new deals boosted the revenue figure by about $99 million US. However, organic revenues, which strip out the impact of acquisitions, actually declined 2.5%. Broking commissions rose to $1 billion in 2009 compared to $920 in 2008. Retail contingent commissions relating to acquisitions contributed $14.6 million to the overall result. Gallagher, of course, began to accept contingent commissions once again on October 1st of 2009. In the midst of all this swirling around, the stock market is down about 38 points right now. The president was on the television earlier conducting a live meeting with Senate Democrats. urging them to follow through on the health care passage. Yesterday he was up in Nashua, New Hampshire, where he received a standing ovation at a town meeting, and he lambasted the Republicans for their inaction. The people got up and cheered and cheered and cheered. So many things happening in the U.S. We'll go to a word from our sponsors.
This is a